Hi, good evening and welcome to the Tonight Show. Hope you're all set for a show that's going to be out of this world. And I mean out of this world. Now, if you would like a mention on tomorrow night's show, all you have to do is give us a call. The new number, which will take you through to our operations room, where most of the aliens are kept, is 01501 822115. That's 01501 822115. Now, about 4 or 5 minutes ago, the LTV Spaceship Enterprise dropped our guests off at the studios, and if you check out our green room, our first guest of this evening is a shift shape maker himself, the fabulous Dave Moncur. Also next to Dave is Brian Jnr, and next to him is Brian McMullen Sr. Great stuff. Also coming up tonight, we have 2 songs from Mr. Boom, the man from the moon. But right now it's time for a close encounter with that daft bird, that alien bird from Craig Duke. Pauline, how you doing?
Do you hear him, that alien bird from Craig Duke?
It's a wonderful show we have lined up for you now. If you've just joined us, you've missed our shapeshift investigator, David Moncur, and also our internet. Now, Ian and David, our cameramen, were quietly going about their business filming when they captured this interesting film. Check out this.
Now, this is serious here because we have got absolutely no idea what it was. It was actually filmed outside Hartwood. Now, it was filmed outside our studio. 2 boys were out doing something of their own little project, and we have got absolutely no idea what it is. If you have seen or you have any idea what it is, it was filmed in Hartwood area. We would like you to call us now in our new number. You all know what the new number is. It's 822115. I'd like to ask, Brian and Brian, do you have any idea what that was?
Well, to be honest with you, there's not enough information there to make to even comment on it.
What actually happened?
It's interesting, but I wouldn't suggest anything other than that.
You wouldn't look too far into it?
Oh, but if they know when it was filmed, etc., you know.
Brian Jr., Brian Senior, but one's a junior, but one's a senior.
He's junior, I'm senior.
Right,
He's doing well.
Welcome, how you doing?
Thank you, not bad.
Good.
Yourself?
Now, you're actually from the group, it's Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Right? And you have your own CD out, and we can have a little listen to this music as well. We're going to have a little listen. Now, your music is all about Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. What made you get into that sort of music?
Well, it was 1985, the band was starting up. There was also interest within ufology at the same time. And the boys were writing their own songs. I was in a band in the 60s, so I was giving them a hand at the time. And they ended up getting stuck with me, I suppose, you know. But the interest plus the band starting at the same time, to write your own songs, why not make it what you're interested in? And that's exactly the way it happened, you know.
Do you have a favourite song?
No, I wouldn't like to say. I like a few of them.
What made you start writing about UFOs, but what was your interest in UFOs?
Well, the interest in UFOs stemmed from an astronomy interest, believe it or not. The kids were all young at the time, you know, and Brian was maybe about 9 or 10 years old, were into that, and we began to see things that shouldn't have been there.
Long time ago.
What do you mean you started seeing things that shouldn't have been there?
Similar to the thing you were looking at there, you know, things that you wouldn't expect to see in the sky, not planets, meteorites, etc. Things that were maybe taking a 45.
So you believe in all that stuff?
Well, after being in it for so long, I still can't say for certain what it is. But I believe there's certainly something going on out there, without a doubt.
I've heard a little rumour, actually, that you have actually seen an alien craft. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yes, I would say it was an alien craft.
Tell us all about it. Where did you see it? What did it look like? So much, I want to know all about it.
Well, what I'd like to say to the viewers is, if you're doing any sky watching, try and get a lot of hours in. And we worked it out. We did 300 hours sky watching.
Very bit, yeah.
For every 10 seconds that you'll see something. You know?
And you reckon if you watch it for that period of time, you will capture something?
It's healthy. Get out in the hills on a clear night.
Do you not feel, but if you're watching for 300 hours, you're going to eventually see something, you know? You're going to be like...
Well, over a period of time, of course, but I mean, aye, that's what happens, aye. You cut it down. You know?
What should we be looking for? What does it look like?
Fine.
Well, basically the thing you're looking for is anything out of the ordinary. You were saying the astronomy thing, you're going to see obviously stars, planets and satellites, meteors, whatever. And you're looking for something that just looks a wee bit out of step with everything around about it.
So why is aliens visiting Earth? What do they want? Are they going to invade us, kill us, eat up all our supplies?
Are they shopping?
Nobody really knows, but there's loads of theories. Some of the theories stem from just observing human life. Some of them, people believe that aliens instigated life and they're watching it develop and they'll make changes. That hence abduction scenario. A lot of people believe that ties in with it as well.
Do you reckon their government know more than what they're letting on?
Yeah, with a certain degree, but I still think there's certain government elements that don't know what's going on, but there are people behind the scenes.
There's a lot of similarities between you and our last guest here, David. He's got the same, you know.
Aye.
What do you think goes on, in your own personal opinion, in an alien abduction?
Well, the things that we've read about or spoke to people about, they slightly vary, but there's certain common denominators, such as they've obviously been taken out of whatever environment they're in, whether it's asleep, they're driving along the road, they get taken aboard some kind of craft, and basically they do seem to be experimented on through different ways. And
Brian Senior, when you're writing the songs, where do you get inspiration from?
You get it from witnesses, you get it from books, newsletters, whatever's going on at the time, up-to-date things. So you can actually write a song that's up-to-date in the sense that it might have been a case that occurred 6 months ago, you know.
Have you heard any?
Meeting witnesses is good, aye.
Have you heard any weird stories that you actually can say to yourself, that doesn't sound right?
Oh, aye. I mean, you get people appearing at clubs and venues and they shouldn't be there, they should be somewhere else.
Can you tell us any weird stories that you've heard? Do you know any offhand?
Strange ones or weird ones? Strange, aye, well.
Because there are a lot of strange people out there, you know.
Oh, aye. Well, there was one where we were asked to go up to a house and view as the alien craft flew over Glasgow at the time. And 3 of us arrived at the home and the lady took us out on the veranda and said, that's exactly it there, it's doing it again. And it was an aircraft going into Glasgow airport. So, you know, what can you say, you know?
These mistakes, you know, like aeroplanes.
All the time.
I remember once coming home from a New Year's party, and I was only about 8 or 9 at the time, and I remember coming through, like, coming home from my aunt's party, and it was very late at night, and I remember seeing like this strange lights in the sky, and I remember telling my mum and dad, you know, and everybody looked up and went, oh yes, so it is. But the next day, nobody had any memory of this apart from me, right? Now, 8-year-old, I know you think, not at 8-year-old, I wasn't checking. If I was like maybe like 18, yes, but I wasn't drinking. So, is it possible that kids, the point I'm trying to make, is it possible that kids can see this, you know, and adults can't?
That is possible. It's actually been stated in a few books as well with the investigators. Small children and even animals, you know, they can see things. They're not blocked the same as a human's blocked, you know. It's people watching the programme just now and they're saying, rubbish, you know. I mean, the kids, animals, people that are blocked with the modern day stuff, they're open to it. That's possible.
Brian Jr., just come back to the abductees, if I can say it here. Now, they seem to hurt them, you know, because you hear of people that get abductees, they do the things to the eyes. Why do they do this?
Well, nobody knows why they're doing it, but some people reckon they're taking samples, DNA, whatever, to try and make changes to the human evolution process. That's some of the theories. But a lot of people are abducted not hurt. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. Some people actually think it's a wonderful experience.
So your plans for the future, is it to look deeper into this phenomenon, which is...
love to keep studying it.
Keep studying it. Where do you go for your information?
Well, we gather information from witnesses directly. We do a lot of our own...
libraries?
Aye, a lot of books, a lot of modern books, a lot of magazines out there as well.
Do you have a place you can go to where you all meet and discuss each maybe sighting you've seen?
We try to have some kind of arranged meetings every so often so as people can share information. A lot of investigators around about Scotland will all meet up at once. And
so if anybody's interested out there in this, what you're interested in yourself, how would they go about it? What would they do?
Well, the first thing to do is check, if you're looking for meetings or whatever, check libraries. A lot of people put notices up in libraries, community centres, anything like that.
Great stuff. Look forward to seeing you again sometime. Okay. Thanks very much, Brian Senior and Brian Jr.
Thank you.
Yeah, but definitely be interested. We'll get you back up here.
Listen, thank you very much to the fabulous David Moncur, a chef investigator. Mr. Boom, he'll be back to normal later on. Also, Brian Mullen Senior, Brian Mullen Jr. Thank you to all.